What's going on, legends? I'm Sushi, or Luna, and this video needs no introduction. We're in the Sulfur Caves with Luna's UpdateMize 06. UpdateMize 06 is my very own mod that adds in the new Minecraft Live Chaos Cubed features into the game early. So let's go into all of them. First of all, I've added the Sulfur blocks and the Cinnabar blocks. So, what I think about them, I've heard mixed opinions, but what I think, let's get into each. Sulfur looks a lot like fool's gold, especially the sulfur bricks, which I really like for you can build big palaces or vaults with gold in them, which this gives way more possibilities for building with gold. Even though it's not really gold, it does look like gold, and of course anything that looks like a resource in building is useful. For example, how deep slate and stone blend very well together, or how dark oak wood looks like it's burnt wood. Things match really well, and when things match really well, it's always a good thing for builders. Now for the Cinnabar, I have two opinions on it. So this Cinnabar set over here looks a lot like rusted metal. It just has that rust vibe with the reds and the little patches of discoloration. It looks a lot like rust. And the bricks blend in very well with nether builds. I know red nether bricks do exist, but the bricks here, they're just a way more punchy red. They're way more vibrant red. So I think these two blocks add in their own advantages to building and their own benefits for builders. I do like the biome overall. It's very unique. It's not something you'd usually see in Minecraft, but it's very unique, and I like that about it. On the topic of the biome, in the Sulfur Caves, you'll also find sulfur lakes with Potent Sulfur in them, those more yellowish blocks. You can see the Potent Sulfur right here. It looks like this, and if you step into it, it will give you the nausea effect. So be careful of Potent Sulfur. Don't step into it or you'll get nausea, but it's only for 10 seconds, so it's not really that big a deal, but it's something you've got to keep in mind when you traverse the caves. Now, the Sulfur Cube. Yes, the Sulfur Cube is in a mod. Now, about the Sulfur Cube, I would like to thank Crimson Phoneme for implementing the Sulfur Cube. I want to thank her for making the code for it and for making it actually function. And also for porting the mod to 1.21.11 and fixing the lake generation. So, let's get into the Sulfur Cube. So, this is what it looks like. It is part of the slime family, so obviously it will jump and bounce around like a slime. But what you can do is feed it blocks. In Minecraft, you will be able to feed it any block, but here, you'll be able to feed it wood, stone, and wool. Right? Each acts differently. Wood has more of the horizontal punch, like this. See how far it goes? It has way more horizontal impact. See? Now, stone, if you feed it stone, it's kind of like a baseline between vertical and horizontal, and wool, it's way more focused on vertical. But it also matters how you hit it, you know? It also matters how. Hold on. Get the wood one out of the way. Yeah! The wool one will, just skyrocket into the air. Now, the thing about it is, if you are stand still, you'll have way more control over the horizontal knockback, but if you are in the air, you'll have way more control over the vertical, right? So you control the vertical part if you're in the air. Of course, in Minecraft, you will have to hit it in places specific, in specific places dealing different effects of knockback. But here, if you're on the ground, you'll have more horizontal impact, and if you're in the air, you have more vertical impact. So, about the Sulfur Cube, I genuinely like this mob. I haven't even heard a bad thing about it. It's really good for minigames, especially where you kick something. For a long time, I've been watching videos about basketball in Minecraft. I've seen that a few years ago and a few times over the years on YouTube Shorts and places, basketball in Minecraft. But no, this time it's actually possible because we have the Sulfur Cube. And there's also football, there's golf, and there's like minigames that deal with anything of like kicking something. And now we have finally something to kick in Minecraft, which is a Sulfur Cube. Now, I do want to actually show you something, right? I want to show you. First of all, right, you can shear the block out of the Sulfur Cube, right? In Minecraft, it will actually show a texture on the Sulfur Cube when it has a block in it, but here it won't. Although it does have the cube in it, as you saw, because I sheared it out. So, now I want to show you this little build I made. Trying to make it with only Sulfur and Cinnabar for the most part. I've used some other matching blocks, you'll see what I mean. I've really made a few matches that I like to talk about. And first of all are these chains here, right? The chains, you can see that they look like thicker chains because I've used the Cinnabar, which I've said looks like rust, and the waxed copper chain, which bring in that orangey look that the Cinnabar also has. It's like orangey red. It adds in like bigger and smaller segments for the chain. And I've also done the same with like supports here, right? I've done the same with supports. We have some supports out of Cinnabar and Cinnabar walls, and also Sulfur and Sulfur walls. I think these look pretty cool. And they like make this build really look like it's suspended in the air, like held up in the air, especially those chains over there. Now, I would actually like to tour the building, like show you a bit of the design choices up close. So, I'm actually going to remove the night vision effect for this. You can actually see this properly. Let's climb up this spiraling staircase I've created. And let's get into the house. As you can see, I think the ochre froglight fits the best. I've also tried glowstone, but like have those yellow accents with the white lighting that comes out of this, right? So it really does blend in well with the sulfur. And this is what it looks like. This is these are some patterns here that I've done. As you can see, I've also used glass here to match the sulfur and the cinnabar. I've used stairs along the walls with little insets here with cinnabar walls to like add a little 3D effect. Those blocks, they are just like, they're vibrant, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that they're vibrant. They add a lot of detail that way, right? You can see like there's like incredible contrast between these. Like they're kind of like polar opposites, even though they're not really. Like, it's just that they're obviously warm colors, so they can't even be polar opposites. But like, they just look so different to each other, yet blend in so well. And I think this could be very well used in combination with other blocks. Like, I'd love to see what builders create. So, as you've seen, this is the build. This is the finalized build that we have. This is build. What is... What happened? He is back! He is back! I must investigate! I must investigate! Where am I? What's going on? What are you doing? Where are we? Where are we? Explain yourself! Now, oh my. If you say so! They so shall receive. Oh my god! Cannot let him win! Not let him win this fight! This is my battle! I created this! Yes! Yes! I created this modification, and he shall not use my own work against me. Shall not do such thing, for he is foolish. A fool. A fool. Making a fool of me? Making a fool. I will not become the fool. He shall be. No! I cannot let him win. I cannot let him win! Fight! Fine! This fight is mine. I will win, and I will not let you! I'm running! It is over! It is finally over! Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to try out Chaos Cubed before it's released, you can download the mod from the description. It's available for 1.21.11, and you can find it on mcreator, CurseForge, and ModRef. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and explode that subscribe button, it would mean a lot to me. If you have feedback or suggestions, make sure to let me know, and thanks again to Crimson Phony for helping out with the mod. Hope you enjoyed, have a great day, and peace out.